Okay, hopefully we should be back though. I'm hoping. I had to restart it though to see if that helps out. Sometimes it does, sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. Hard to say. Bum, ba-dum, bum. All right. I will say just refresh it though. Hang on. Mm-mm-mm. There we go. I think I just had to close something right there. Encoder overloaded. I have no idea why you're doing that right now. It's so strange. Okay, you're just being stupid. Okay. I don't know. So I don't know. I don't know. The Italian Wi-Fi is differently, I guess. Italian Wi-Fi built differently. Hopefully this time it works. I don't know. I'm hoping. Yeah, I will say just refresh though. Just yeah. Just refresh. I can't even I put refish. I put refish. I don't want to talk about it. All right, yeah, just refresh it right there. That might help out.
Today, we finally get to
Oh,
find out.
I was like, why is that double audio? Let me close that right there.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to Echo Base Network. Coach and Nick, today we finally get to find out what LEGO has said in response to this bricks and minifigs controversy. Nick, tell everybody how we got here, and let's see what LEGO has to say.
All right, so I was watching a stream last night
Oh yeah, see, it was this one
from
right here.
Gasselcast.
I know let's talk about that like the whole time.
Great guys over there. If you haven't checked them out, go check them out. That's their YouTube channel right there.
Again, I think they're
from
just a
their
front for
stream, I
something.
learned
Bricks and
about
mini
this Facebook group here,
bricks
Bricks and
and
Minifigs
minifigs.
We Steal from Old People, which has over 10,500 subscribers
God
on
damn.
this private group, and they now have surpassed the regular official Bricks and Minifigs group on Facebook.
I didn't
And
even know they had a
so
Facebook.
once I got in there, come to find out, I guess somebody had sent. Now, we cannot independently confirm this, but from what we're seeing, it appears
Bro,
to
they're
be
so
legit
petty.
that Lego has responded to somebody asking about this situation. Now, this is an email
Like bricks and
response.
minifigs are so
Lego
petty that
still
they would
has not
literally do
made a
any shit.
public response to this situation, but I wanted to look at this because I kind of found this interesting, and it sounds like something that would come from them. So it seems to be legitimate. But it says, thank you for reaching out to us and sharing your thoughts. We're aware of the situation and understand why it may raise concerns from our fans who care about the Lego community. As Bricks and Minifigs operates independently, and because this is a legal matter, we're unable to provide more info. Your feedback is highly appreciated, and we're grateful.
Dude, like Lego's gonna have to do something
to get in touch. We want to
or they're
make
gonna
sure
lose
we're
a
doing
lot
a
of money
good
in
job for
shares.
you. So you'll always find the link to a 4-question survey in our emails. Please tell us how we did today. Survey link. Kind regards, Natasha, Lego customer service.
Lego.
So that is what the response was.
I'm still saying that's a front for something.
Out to them
the bricks
asking
and
for a
minifigs
response for it. So you know, it sounds like they're and if any of you out there has reached out and gotten a similar response, like let us know in the comment section below.
Sorry,
but it seems
I did
like
not mean to
they
say
are
that.
aware. And
They
honestly,
build-
I don't know how they couldn't be aware of it. I mean, this story has been on national news, all over the place, all over social media, all over YouTube. There's no way Lego doesn't know about this.
So two things about it real quick. Lego's not in a position really where they're going to say more. Bricks and Minifigs is independent. There's no doubt about that. There's an active legal situation that is going on, as everybody is aware.
It's
and
a front.
There's
It has to be a front.
limitations. But here's the key. I think more people should be reaching out to Lego on behalf of this current situation.
Yeah.
More and more people, fans of Legos, collectors, people who love Lego, we need to make sure that we're being heard. Maybe Lego would say something to Bricks and Minifigs about this controversy. Like, wouldn't it be bad if Lego took a hit? If financially, And I'm
I'll
not
be
saying
okay
that
with
needs to
that.
happen at all. It's not Lego's fault that all this happened. Lego's great. The bricks and minifigs is the problem. But maybe
I'm just saying,
Lego would
I think it might
recognize
be
what's
good.
happening and get involved a little bit,
I mean, it's
and
like
kind of put some
it's
pressure
like Star
on
Wars
bricks and
like does
minifigs to
something
get this
stupid.
reconciled.
Then
Yeah,
Disney gets involved, and
I
you're like,
don't
oh
think they're
shit,
going
the
to,
mouse got
just
involved.
because
That's
it's
the
now
one thing
become
no
a
one does
legal
not want to
matter.
tempt the mouse.
I just don't think that they want to get involved in taking sides and all that. Now,
Also, don't they have like
privately,
almost like a whole
and I'm
city
saying
just
publicly, I don't
dedicated
think
to
they're going to
just
do this. Now,
finding
privately,
people who
they
are
might have already
copying
had
them and
conversations
you
with
know,
the
with
folks over at
anything
Bricks
like
and Minifigs,
wording,
and there might be some conversations
all
going
that sort
on
of
there
stuff,
privately.
throwing
But
like
publicly,
they have so much
I
stuff.
don't
It's
think
crazy.
they're going to say a whole lot, because at the end of the
As
day,
much as I
honestly, they're
like
not
Disney and stuff
involved
like
in
that, I
this. Their
just cannot support
product
the business
is what
model how they do that shit
started this
half the
whole
damn time.
thing.
But it's like,
But
damn,
it
but man,
really,
if it fucking
honestly,
puts
then
money
it
on the
doesn't really
table,
have
shit,
anything
dude.
to do with the Lego Corporation itself.
Yeah, and this response doesn't settle the controversy in any way. It doesn't tell us who's
No.
right. It doesn't tell us who's wrong, but it does answer one question. Lego finally knows about the situation. We
Yeah.
know that.
And
If,
they've probably known for a while.
They've probably known for a while. You're right.
Yeah.
As long as anybody else has known.
Yeah.
But now we know that they know.
Fortunately, we
So
know.
what are we going to do with that? Let's just continue to be heard and shine some light on this situation. And guys, we just want to say thank you for following along with our channel. We had a great live stream about it where we had the last relic of a former Bricks and Minifigs store owner who knows all of these people involved.
Yeah.
Who has also been featured on Reckless Ben's channel. Want to shout out Reckless Ben. Hang in there. The community is with you. We're behind you in this.
He may be silenced, but we're not.
That's right. You
Brick
keep doing
by
what you're
brick.
doing. Yeah, and,
Right.
and at the end of the day, we do things differently around here.
Yeah.
So
I was kind of hoping more for
differently, yeah, me
like
too.
a
That's
better
right.
response from.
Thanks for watching,
Lego.
guys. We are You Are Echo Base Network. We'll see you guys on the next one.
Bye, guys.
I'm just gonna say that they really should have done like, I don't know. I feel like Lego should have said something a little bit more. I mean, that's just me. Which one from Optimus? It's just like, I wonder if anything else got like popped up while I was gone. I'm gonna check that one out. I haven't seen Optimus in a while. That was 2 days ago. Yeah, nah. How I have no internet? Explain. I think it might have been just because of spam stuff. See, like that's the thing that's
All
kind of
right,
weird.
what's
though.
going on, everybody? Welcome back.
It's kind of weird though. 2 days ago, yeah. I seen the one from CoffeeZilla though, but it was like the one that was covered from from the Legendary series. I saw that one right there, and I was like, oh my god, dude, that's crazy though. The bricks and minifig situation is just absolute fucking insanity, and again, I'm just saying this is a tinfoil hat theory right here. You don't have to like really believe that, but it's just my take on it. I honestly still think it has to be a front, like for drugs or like other illegal activities. I don't know for what, but it has to be, because when you think about it, it's like, okay, well, if they have people who go in there and investigate for all that kind of stuff and inventory and all that, like, okay, like, you know how they did that one thing where it was like the list and all that kind of stuff. I haven't seen most of it. I'm a little late on that, but I don't know how it goes or how it's been going with that. Like if they were able to physically see the stuff, but if they don't want to show their assets and all that kind of stuff, like the Legos, and actually have that stuff inventoried, and then, take back the Legos that they were obviously like, they stole. I'm just going to say that if they're not wanting to go have people go in there, like federal people go in there, or even the police department, that's the sign that they're, and obviously the police department there is getting paid by them. It's just clear as day. So there's corruption clearly there. I will not be surprised if that is like a front for drugs and the police department are getting paid by them in that regard. And I'm still saying that if anyone lives in that city or state, like, one, that sucks for you. But if you happen to live there, like, go to those, like, I don't know, like those locations that they have. See what the heck, like, is it open, like, when you go over there, or does it look always closed? Like, you just go like there every like now and then, like every like, I don't know. I would say like drive by the area, like don't like show you're interested in buying stuff. Just you know, like you're just driving, like just going to like, I don't know, home or something like that. And if it looks closed always or it looks empty, I'm gonna be honest with you, that's a sign that it's a front for something. So that's why the police is there is probably getting involved because they're getting paid by them. So again, I'm okay with the federal level of investigation going in there. As someone who works in that field, it's like, yeah, they clearly do. It clearly is showing some bias, and it's clear as fucking day, and it has been recorded, so it's not like they can deny it. And it would be funny again if that's what, if they get people from the federal level to go in there and be like, hey, you know, what the heck is going on? They look in it, they find the business is obviously a front for drugs. That would be funny because that group of friends that went out of their way to help find those Legos for that couple right there. They got like, what was the phone calls for, like, well, it was like multiple phone calls of them being like falsely accused of having drugs. That would be hilarious if they get caught for their business and it's being used to sell drugs. Like, that would be so fucking hilarious. And that would be a fucking karma right there. It's like, man, that's for what they had to deal with. It's just insane. But that'll be funny though. But again, it's just, to me, I think that business is a front for something. Bricks and Minifix has to be a front for something, and it has to be for drugs. Because it's just, I don't know, like just the vibe of it. And I know obviously I had to close the stream earlier just because there was some issues on top of that, but it's like they got one of the brothers right there, like he has that villain handlebar mustache. If he talks like a villain, if he walks like a villain, if he acts like a villain, then it's clear as evidence as day that he's a fucking villain. I'm just saying. I know some people are gonna be saying like, but you can't judge a book by its cover. But okay, all right. But the one time I judge, and you guys are saying, but you know, there's no way he's gonna be like a drug supervillain kind of like thing right there. And it's like, well, I mean, he's giving me that impression. That's the vibe I'm getting from that guy. And I know people say don't judge a book by its cover, but I'm like, I don't know. I don't know, man. It's just the way. Again, as I said, if he acts, walks, and talks like that, and looks like it, and chances are he probably is what that is, you know, like a villain that sells drugs and stuff like that, because that's the vibe I get. But in a cartoony matter, and I don't know if that makes it better. Honestly, I don't think that makes it better though. But man, that's fucking crazy. The shot on the reputation cannot be as simple as 200K. Dude, again, I'm telling you, the amount of people that are it's like, it has to be a front. I'm telling you guys, the fact is they're not thinking about that. It's like, wait, hang on, they're trying to do their best to make sure that they do not have to produce Legos for this right here. And it's like, okay, it has to be a front. I'm telling you this. I am not going to be surprised if this is actually a front for something. The amount of dedication to show that they have Legos, but they don't have the Legos. And they're willing to do everything they can. Damn, it's fucking crazy. Everyone was watching BAM when the real investigation should be against the cops and the judges. Dude, I'm telling you, it's going to get to the point where it's going to go to a federal level, and those people who are cops and judges that have been obviously paid by the brothers, they're going to lose their career. They're going to lose like any kind of benefits they get along with the job that they did, and basically it was just a waste of time of what they just did. Because, you know, obviously, you know, like if you go under those, you get benefits even after you do like your time there. You get benefits. They will lose those benefits. I'm okay with that. I honestly feel like that is deserved because, you know, those benefits, you know, that can go on for like, oh my god, like their whole life. They can literally relax their whole life if they wanted to. But I feel like if they lose that, they lose any benefits that they've worked for to that point, which will be funny because if one of them's about to retire, because they can get the maximum amount of benefits, and then they lose, their benefits because of this case that got put onto a federal level, that will be fucking icing on the cake right there, because it honestly is deserved. And it should be an example for cops that are going to do corrupt shit like this. They should obviously have consequences. They should not be above the law. And clearly from how this is going, it's showing like that right there.
Another video here on the channel, and today we are...
Okay, alright, it's kind of corrupted right there.
Going to be talking about the bricks and minifigs Reckless Ben drama that has been going on. It's been a pretty insane situation. It's been developing for quite some time, but right as I began really working on a video kind of talking about all of this, kind of going over the whole situation, there was a new update from Reckless Ben that claims essentially that a gag order had been filed. He's no longer allowed to talk about the company, and that really...
Wait a minute. Is this going on auto? Wait, it is. What the hell? That's diabolical. Also, how is this game, by the way?
Just inspired me even more to talk about this, because in this kind of situation, I think the only real true justice, the only real true payback to a company that does something like this is for everybody to be aware of what exactly they are. They're never going to show up front that this is the way that they behave until a situation like this comes along. And then when they act this way, it is, I think, very important that people band together and make sure that they send a message to companies like this, because even though this is all revolving essentially around Legos, around toys, okay? This is a situation where people have been arrested and harmed by the police, people are being served gag orders, companies are maliciously trying to take money from people. Like, it's a pretty sick story, really. I mean, especially for the Lego community, okay? Now, I've been a lifetime Lego fan myself. I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like this. I mean, this whole story is just disgusting. So, to kind of give a little bit of a rundown of the backstory on this entire thing, right? There is a Lego company slash like retailer called Bricks and Minifigs. I think the title there is pretty self-explanatory. They sell Legos and Lego accessories, to quote Hank Hill. Now, this company for a long time has had quite the reputation. It's been one of like the biggest companies in Lego, right? For collectors and people who are just, casually looking for Lego sets or pieces or whatever. Now, this whole story really kind of begins, it really surrounds a family that is living in Kaiser, Oregon, okay? Now, there is a Bricks, or I should say there was a Bricks and Minifigs location in Kaiser, Oregon, okay? Now, this store had made a private deal for a collection with an 83-year-old man by the name of Ed Mansell, okay? Now, this all started in 2023. At that time, Ed was unfortunately really sick, okay? I guess he didn't really know.
Man, I'm just gonna say this, like, I've seen that was, if they're from Oregon, I thought it was Ohio. But dude, holy shit. If it's from Oregon, don't they have like those like that funny like things that they made it look like anime, and it's like come to Oregon. We clearly have lots of stuff going on here. Join Oregon. And it's just like the fucking like friendship kind of bullshit right there, and I'm right here just like, I don't think this counts as what you guys advertise. I do not like it. I would demand my money back, and I didn't even go to Oregon.
He had to live, and so he basically had been collecting these Lego sets for decades at this point. And if you know anything about Lego, you know that some of the older sets, especially in really good condition, if they haven't been opened, if they're kind of rare, really hard to find, they can be quite valuable. I mean, Lego at the store might be anywhere from like 50 to 200 bucks, but some of these sets are tens of thousands of dollars to get them through collectors, right? So there is like an aftermarket essentially with Lego. Now, this 83-year-old man had come consigned his collection of what I guess were Star Wars Lego sets. So I don't know if they were like Millennium Falcons or whatever, right? But he had apparently roughly $200,000 worth of Star Wars Lego sets. And he made a deal with this location for Bricks and Minifigs in Kaiser, Oregon, where they were essentially going to get his collection, right? Because these are very valuable items. They can then resell them. Everybody wins in that scenario, right? Well, unfortunately, things did not go quite as well as they should have. All the way into 2024, this agreement was here, you know, basically whenever something was to happen, this Lego set or these Lego sets were going to be then transferred to the ownership of Bricks and Minifigs. Now, the problem is, this agreement had been made with the previous owners, and then after, you know, 2023, 2024-ish, there had been a change in ownership, okay? So there's a lawsuit filed by the previous owners of that store that claimed that essentially there was like a hostile takeover of the business. They allege in this lawsuit that essentially it was wrongfully seized by BAM Franchise Incorporate because a lot of these Bricks and Minifigs are more independently owned under a corporate structure. Apparently they have been threatened that the police would be called on them for out of the store, essentially, and these new owners took over the store and they refused to return any previous unsold inventory. They refused to honor the consignment contract. Essentially, they just came in and fucked everything up. That's what that lawsuit is alleging. Now, these new owners are now essentially at this point screwing over this man on a deal worth, you know, well over $200,000 apparently over this collection that he had been collecting for all this time. So there's this whole fucking conundrum already, right? With this whole situation, you know, the tensions are already kind of simmering. Everybody's already getting kind of mad in the circle of what's going on. Now, this is where Reckless Ben comes in, okay? Now, this is, I guess, I honestly don't know anything about the guy before this situation, but he published a bunch of videos, you know, on YouTube talking essentially about this entire thing, talking about this whole scandal. And he did a really good investigation into the company and like what was going on. And, you know, he kind of made some jokes in the video that realistically it's reminiscent of anything else you'd see on YouTube. Like there's jokes about basically making fun of Bricks and Minifigs, creating rival companies like, oh, we're Mr. Steal from Old People company, shit like that, right? Obviously it's all satire, obviously it's all jokes, but the investigation and the genuine critique of what actually happened here are all very valid. And keep in mind, this is all typically very well protected under law, right? So you do have the right to, you know, remix things as long as it's within fair use, you know, as long as you're doing things to actually critique or to criticize or to make fun of. You do have some, you know, gray area that you can move within the law to do things like this. Well, Bricks and Minifigs did not really appreciate the coverage of this entire situation. Now, one of the big allegations in this entire Reckless Ben saga is essentially Reckless Ben alleges that there were like corporate personnel within Bricks and Minifigs corporate that pretty much conspired essentially, right, to hostile take over this local franchise with people that they knew, essentially the new owners. That's the claim. Now, the problem is,
again, I know I'm going to sound like a broken record, but I'm still thinking that it, like, that whole business model that they have has to be a front. They're just doing this so that it's like, oh yeah, we're clearly running a business. It just like, I don't know. It feels like there's more than just the Legos and all of this shit going on. If they have the police backing them up, I'm just saying there's another level underneath the Legos, and it's not the fucking floor. It's trust me. There's another fucking level underneath the Legos. There's something more to this. I'm just saying.
Be proven in court, because even though Reckless Ben has been getting sued.
Oh my god. I don't know. The fucking audio sometimes fucks up though. But I'm like, dude, holy shit. Again, it's just, I don't know. To me, it's just.
Attacked and, like I said, apparently now even gag ordered. He's had a tremendously difficult time actually getting any sort of lawsuit filed against Bricks and Minifigs. In fact, his entire legal procedure thus far has been really insane. I mean, for someone who realistically, in my personal opinion, did nothing wrong, you know, all he did was kind of cover a situation that probably should have been covered. He talked about something where these people, honestly, it looked like were scamming the fuck out of this old man and his family out of this Lego set, scamming people out of this business. You know what I mean? Now, the whole legality of this whole thing is actually crazy because now, you know, you got lawsuits and whatnot going on, but Bricks and Minifigs has essentially been trying to destroy this guy and make sure that he can't say anything about them,
they're
make
like
sure he
destroying
can't
their own...
expose what's been being done. And it's gotten to the point where there are now allegations that because Reckless Ben has been trying to get the police in Utah to actually be on his side, more specifically the American Fork Police Department, he's been trying to actually legally use his rights to fight back against Bricks and Minifigs and to file lawsuits and whatnot. But apparently the American Fork Police Department and everybody else involved in this situation have been, well, less than cooperative. It's even gotten to the point where people have made the notice, right, that, okay, the American Fork Police Department, they're in Utah. They are majority Mormon, okay? There's a lot of Mormons in this area. And it turns out that the new owners of the Kaiser franchise that came in supposedly on a hostile takeover, they are also Mormons. And some of the people at Bricks and Minifigs corporate who are, you know, like the CEO and whatnot are also Mormons. So there's been this new conspiracy kind of forming. People are saying like this is a Mormon grouping conspiracy where essentially Mormons are working together in this instance right now. I don't know how true that is. It is an interesting observation for sure. But what's obvious is this entire thing is not being resolved the proper and correct way. In fact, apparently the current franchise owners had initially offered to return all of these Lego sets to Mansell if he had issued an apology basically saying he was sorry for accusing the company of, you know, stealing from him or any wrongdoing, whatever. But apparently they were never returned to the guy. They are still in the possession of that Bricks and Minifigs location. And then, of course, you know, he sues like, hey, I want my Lego sets back. I'm going to sue now because in his eyes, he's been stolen from. Well, conveniently, this location in Kaiser, Oregon for Bricks and Minifigs permanently closed soon after all of this controversy started. So Bricks and Minifigs is essentially accused of sending a hostile takeover of this location, refusing to honor this, you know, $200,000+ agreement with a local customer, essentially stealing his Lego sets and not returning them to him, and then trying to sue, silence, and attack the Reckless Ben guy and anyone else who has tried to speak out in favor of the guy who is being wrong, in favor of Reckless Ben for exposing what's going on. Now, Reckless Ben had launched a GoFundMe, okay? Now, this was...
dude, that's a GoFundMe. Oh, God. Dude, the fact is that they have to go so low and actually, like, attack the GoFundMe is just... It's just, I don't know, they're just so fucking petty. It's like, dude, like, if there is anybody on the internet in, like, the past, like, decade that's been so fucking petty, like, honestly, now, I think they took the fucking cake of it. And that's, like, the bad thing, because now that's, every time when someone sees them, they're gonna be like, hey, how petty are you today? Like, you're gonna, like, what, judge me on, like, what I did when I was, like, fucking 9? Like, oh, I will not even begin to go into that round right there where they were going into that, basically just saying, hey, we know what you did when you were like fucking 9 and what you stole. And it's like, okay, all right, whoa, holy shit, are you like, wow, so fucking intimidating, you can find that. I'm right here just like, to me, like, again, how I was raised, it's like, man, you're going to intimidate me. But then again, it's usually how my family is, and we usually have like, yeah, you know, but then anything, and that's just how I was raised. That's how my family is. I mean, Chad should know my family crazy, even spooky family crazy. But to be fair, aren't we all crazy in some way, shape, or form?
That the money would be basically given to Mansell, you know, because his Lego sets and whatnot had been essentially stolen according to the whole situation, right? This GoFundMe, as of June 8th, raised over $445,000. This GoFundMe was temporarily taken down and removed from the internet as part of the lawsuit against Reckless Ben, money that keep in mind, the money was not really going to Reckless Ben. Like, yeah, he set up the entire thing, right? But all the money that was being donated so the money could go to the guy who was being wronged in this entire situation, man. So essentially, by taking down that GoFundMe, they were trying to then take the money from this guy, in my opinion. Like, this is just the way that I'm seeing things here from my perspective, right? You know, I got to protect myself because, you know, these cocksuckers like to try and come after people or whatever, right? So from my perspective, man, all that this guy was doing was trying to help out somebody who had been wronged by this company, and now they're coming after him. They're trying to silence and suppress him. They're trying to destroy him. They're trying to steal the money. They're trying to steal the sets, right? Like, from an outside perspective, if you're not really into Lego, you know, you're probably like, oh, these are just a big bunch of fucking arguments over toys. And like, yeah, I guess they are at the end of the day, right? We're arguing over toys or whatever. But keep in mind, this is a $200,000 transaction we're talking about, right? This isn't fucking table scraps, okay? This guy is being robbed out of the money that could buy his family a house. You know what I mean? Money that could send
100%.
somebody to college, you know, all the way through. This isn't a little bit. I mean, if they fucked him out of $20, like, yeah, it's wrong, but would everybody care this much? Honestly, probably not. But it's just the principle and the fact of what is going on here. You know what I mean? It's just beyond a oopsie daisy, we're fucking up. This is, at this point, appearing as quite malicious. It's appearing very offensive on the part of Bricks and Minifigs, which is insane to me because the company is very visibly in the wrong here. It doesn't matter if the stores are independently operated by their own franchisees. When you have a corporate structure like this and you're putting your name and logo on the front of the business, the point of that is that you're supposed to have the same standard quality, values, whatever at every location. And most places don't do this very well, especially when you have like 300 locations like Bricks and Minifigs. And that's what causes situations like this because, yeah, realistically, like if the CEO and whoever at Bricks and Minifigs truly wasn't involved, which keep in mind, the conspiracy, like I said, is that this is a Mormon mafia kind of thing going on here, right? But if they really weren't involved at the corporate level and this was just a one-off incident at this store, it should have been treated as such. But the problem is Bricks and Minifigs as a corporation is essentially going to bat for these people who are clearly in the wrong. They likely at this point possibly could have been even involved to some degree in this. And then now they're stupefied about the reaction, you know, because obviously the general public is seeing this. They're siding with Reckless Ben. They're siding with the guy who got his fucking Lego sets basically stolen, right?
And then
they're not siding with Bricks and Minifigs because the public perception is that they're obviously in the wrong. But Bricks and Minifigs is abusing little legal loopholes, you know, claiming essentially that Reckless Ben is slandering their company, and they just happened upon a judge that is siding with them. And that's the problem, is that, you know, everybody else clearly sees what's going on here and clearly sees who's in the wrong, but the legal system is on the completely wrong side of the board here, you know? They're standing up for the people clearly in the wrong because their lawyers, I guess, are really good at wording things. I don't really know. But it's very obvious that a miscarriage of justice is occurring in this situation. A corporation is essentially abusing private people and abusing their American rights. Like, think of that. Reckless Ben is a fucking American. We have the Constitution in this country. You have the right to free speech, which I get, oh, it only protects you from persecution from the government. But the general principle in America is you can say whatever the fuck you want, whenever the fuck you want, within obvious restrictions. But obviously nothing that Reckless Ben has said, done, has ever crossed that line. And even if you're Bricks and Minifigs, right? If I'm the CEO of this company and I'm thinking about this whole situation rationally, right? Obviously, you're gonna take a reputation hit to some degree no matter what, because this is a very sensitive subject. From the public perspective, you're essentially robbing a man in his mid-80s out of decades worth of collectible items worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, and then you're trying to beat 100%. On and abuse everybody else who talks about it or observes it, right? Realistically, the CEO probably could have just ordered the local franchise to just return the fucking Legos, right? That was probably well within his right, and that would have probably immediately solved this entire crisis, right? Your brand damage wouldn't have been that bad. Everybody would have probably forgot about this in a week. But instead, Bricks and Minifigs, like I said, has almost gone on the offensive. They're taking down GoFundMes and lawsuits that are meant for an 80-something-year-old man. They're abusing a YouTuber's right to speak because he dares so observe what the fuck that they're doing and try to help. So, like I said, I'm a lifetime Lego fan. Let's say that I was going to go shopping for Lego products now. Do you think I'm going to now go to any Bricks and Minifigs location, knowing damn good and well how they treat people, knowing damn good and well how they operate as a business, knowing damn good and well that if I have a negative experience with them, it's going to be a long drawn out court process where Bricks and Minifigs essentially colludes with local.
Dude, it'll be fun. Nah, like, okay, Optimus, you say that, and then you're gonna be like, I don't like your business, and blah 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 blah, and they're like, oh man, that's crazy that you say that when you're like fucking 9 years old, in this grade right here. Remember when you took that like little Sally's like home and didn't give it back to her, and you just said like, oh, you know, you dropped it. You probably dropped it on the way here, but in reality, you took it and never gave it back because of blah blah blah. And that's crazy, right? It's like, I'm like, brother, what the fuck are you really doing that? Wow, that's sad. That is so pathetic. That is so pathetic. I can actually say that's outright adorable. That goddamn.
Apartments.
Oh wait, but hang on. But again, I'm referencing that one thing that they did with that. You know, with one of that lady that was part of that was that couple and all that. They're the ones trying to fight. It's crazy. It's insane that this is happening. It's almost as insane as that one thing that's going on with that one chick streamer that literally cheated on her boyfriend with her cousin. Oh yeah, that thing also happened too. I don't want to go into that because it's like, it's disgusting. I literally saw that, and then I saw both sides, and I can just say one thing. That is the most disgusting thing, and the fact is, when I look at her, I'm like, yeah, she looks like she would fuck her cousin. Sweet home Alabama. Yeah. I don't even think, dude, I have no idea what the fuck is going on in the internet nowadays. I'm like right here just like, I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm playing these games. I'm having a fun time. You know, just goes on my phone, checks something out after like going into the hospital. I start watching. Like, I just watched my first video, and it's like, oh yeah, this chick right here cheated on her boyfriend. And then the Bricks and Minifigs also kicked in a lot more into my feed. I'm like, okay, cool. I have zero spatial awareness of what's happened these past few days because I was in the hospital. That's fucking great. That's funny. I hate that, by the way. But hey, we're still here. We're still alive. Fuck. Why?
Silence me and fuck me over, right? I'm not necessarily sure I'm going to go shop at that business, right? And my personal recommendation, I would recommend that anyone watching this video never shop ever at any Bricks and Minifigs location. I don't care if you know the people that run the place, man. I'm sure they're good people, but they work for a bad business. This business fucking sucks. Like, that's just my personal take on it. Any business that operates like this to me is just pond scum, right? There's already so many businesses out there that are abusing everybody's trust, fucking over the customer, just ruining the general sense and principle of business in general, right? So there's already enough of that shit going on. And then now, even in like what you would think are carefree hobbies like Lego, where fathers and sons are just trying to build sets together, people are just trying to collect shit that they enjoyed when they're growing up. You have these assholes acting this way now, right? Like, it's insane. And it really kind of goes to show nothing is sacred anymore. No hobby is sacred anymore. Nothing. I mean, these greedy ass people who are just out to harm other people are going to be everywhere, apparently. I mean, you can't even walk into your own local Lego store in Oregon without hoping they're not going to try and fuck you out of your brain, right? I don't know, man. Now, unfortunately, it doesn't stop there. There's more details. There's even worse shit going on, right? No. So, I mean, let's go ahead and get into that. So, the police in American Fork, Utah, right? So, this is the craziest, honestly, part of it to me, right? It's one thing that, you know, a lawsuit maybe goes the wrong way. You get a bad judge. You're dealing with some assholes in court. To have a sworn and protected police force of a town in Utah that is, according to what people are accusing online, essentially conspiring with Bricks and Minifigs and business.
Again, it has to be a front. I think there's more than the Legos at stake in this situation. I mean, people are gonna say, well, yeah, I mean, there's money right there involved too. But beyond that, there's more in this. I will not be surprised if there's like drugs in this right here involved, and it's like a front. I'm telling you, it's it doesn't make sense. The cow is meowing. Why is the cow meowing? That's the best way I could describe it. I honestly feel like there was a better way, but like the cow is meowing. How is the cow meowing? There has to be a way. Is that cow a cow, or is it just a fucking cat dressed up as a cow? And it's a very big fucking cat then.
Completely different state. So, okay, now Reckless Ben essentially tried to serve legal lawsuit notice papers to one of the owners of the Bricks and Minifigs location, right? Now, this guy, basically, his last name Johnson, Joshua Johnson is his full name. The franchise owners, I should just say, Brandon Best, Joshua Johnson, remember those names.
Johnson and Johnson?
I haven't said their name up to this point.
Sorry.
So, they tried to serve Johnson legal papers at his house in American Fork, Utah. Reckless Ben was arrested twice there. Once he was attempting to serve him legal papers. He then alleges that the American Fork police searched his vehicles, arrested him, jailed him in the town for multiple days, dislocated his shoulder during one of these arrests, and he was essentially trying to legally serve papers, which he has the full right to do. There's nothing illegal about serving people papers in a lawsuit. So he showed up to serve papers for a lawsuit. He gets his fucking arm or shoulder, my apologies, shoulder dislocated by the police. He's jailed for multiple days. His cars are searched illegally, assumedly, and then he is formally charged with stalking and residential targeted picketing, as well as apparently disorderly conduct and trespassing. As of right now, Reckless Ben is allegedly facing 5 years in prison, and there is an arrest warrant out that prohibits him from having bail, and he now claims to have had to flee to Mexico to avoid being essentially persecuted by the law in America for having the gumption, the gall, the wherewithal to speak out about Lego companies ripping people off. Welcome to the new America, folks. I'm telling you.
I don't like this new America.
Just to go off on a tangent here, okay? This is what I fucking hate about police, okay? Now, I'm sure, there's always going to be bad cops that spoil, bad apples spoil the bunch, whatever, right? But when you have a town like this, American Fork, Utah, where the police are behaving this way, it's clearly like a systemic problem, and nothing is ever done about it. It's shit like this that damages the reputation of all police. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's cases
100%.
like this that make people think the police fucking suck. Because how does this even happen? You know what I mean? How do we even get to this point, right? Now, the American Fork Police Department has claimed there is no active warrant in the state of Utah for him. They're not currently seeking him. They ended up sharing some videos from the body cameras that show like the arrests of Reckless Ben and his friends. However, you will notice if you look at any of these footages, most, if not all of the audio has been redacted from them, which, very curious. I'm sure the police had no reason whatsoever to haphazardly release the footage that they got basically bullied into releasing by the greater public. And, they had no reason, I'm sure, to scrub all of the audio that probably recorded their wrongdoing and whatnot. They probably had no reason to do that, right? Honestly, in my personal opinion, if the police release any body cam footage and it's like heavily altered to that degree, and there's not a very obvious significant reason on paper why, that should be considered a crime. That should be considered obfuscating evidence. I mean, the whole reason that the cops have this shit in the first place is to show the conduct of both them and the people they're arresting. Now, you know damn good and well that if Reckless Ben freaked the fuck out, got in a fist fight with the cop, tried to pull a gun or something stupid, the audio would not have been redacted. Anything that would have showed him acting a fucking idiot, anything that could have harmed his reputation, that won't be muted. That won't be redacted. But anything that could harm the police's reputation, anything that could prove their wrongdoing, of course, then suddenly, we got to scrub this fucking audio. It's really awesome how that seems to work with the police here in America. So a few days ago, there was actually a public leak of the unredacted police body footage of this entire thing. Pretty incredible, man. Awesome how the police work. You have to literally essentially leak footage of the police doing their jobs to see how they actually behave. So obviously, this whole situation.
That's insane. That's actually fucking insane. Like, you're telling me that's like, okay, so obviously we know they're all not bad, so that's good. The fact is that one of them had to fucking leak that right there to show them this is what happened. Man, that guy's probably gonna fucking lose his job there, and it's not even their fault. I'm telling you, like, I don't know. I just feel like there's more than the Legos and the money now at stake. Or they're just more than just the Legos and the money, and they're trying to do whatever they can to fucking hide.
has absolutely exploded online. I mean, everybody's been talking about it. All the commentary channels have been covering it. I'm honestly pretty late to the punch. I already know that. But there was apparently another legal notice issued by Bricks and Minifigs on June 3rd. This was towards Patreon, where essentially Bricks and Minifigs, you know, they got the GoFundMe stopped temporarily through the lawsuit issues or whatnot, right? So they then tried to go to Patreon to do the same thing for the other campaign.
I'm just gonna lower that down a little bit.
The CEO of Patreon, Jack Conti, I believe is how you pronounce it, said that, of course, this legal notice came in to shut down this Patreon account. The Patreon CEO said Bricks and Minifigs can stuff it. We are keeping Ben's page up, and if they don't like that, they can sue us. So even the other companies involved in this entire dispute seem to see Bricks and Minifigs is clearly the problem here, you know? They are the assholes. They are the ones in the wrongdoing here. And even they are like, fuck you. You have a problem with it? Come sue us, motherfucker. And you gotta think, I guarantee you that Bricks and Minifigs is not gonna be so fucking tough with these guys, right? And this is the part that really, like, fires me up and cracks me up about this, right? They'll go after the individual dudes like, you know, Reckless Ben. They'll go fuck with them. They'll go serve them legal notices. They'll go try to bankrupt them with frivolous lawsuits. They'll try and go silence them with these gag orders. They try to come shut down YouTubers like us who speak about shit, who talk about the problems, who talk about the issues. They come try to shut someone like that up who doesn't have the backing of a fucking company behind him and doesn't have the money to deal with it in court, right? They go fuck with him. But then when a company, a global corporation like Patreon that has probably 500 lawyers on retainer, the best lawyers in their state, real deal fucking lawyers, real deal killers in the courtroom, right? Suddenly now they're not so fucking tough. Suddenly now their lawyers aren't issuing any paperwork. Suddenly now nobody has the fucking gumption to issue any lawsuits. Weird how that works. Really fucking odd how that works. It's really easy to pick on the little guy. It's really easy to pick on an 83, 84, whatever year old man who's been collecting Legos his entire goddamn adulthood, right? It's easy to fuck with somebody like that. It's not so easy to fuck with somebody who's got, you know, his staff on retainer, right? Not so easy when a bigger fish than you jumps in the fucking pond, right? Weird. Now, unfortunately, this entire thing, as it's blown up, as it's become a massive controversy, has led to a pretty huge negative response. Now, like I said, Bricks and Minifigs, most of these stores are independently operated. And like I did say earlier in the video, I wouldn't recommend shopping at any Bricks and Minifigs because of this. But I don't want to shit on the individual owners of the other stores who were not involved, okay? That's not my MO here. I'm not trying to go after them. I'm not encouraging any harassment, but unfortunately, it appears that there have been other Bricks and Minifigs stores that were unrelated that are now basically having to close their doors temporarily, or they're receiving death threats, things like that. People are blowing up the phones of Bricks and Minifigs locations. People are sending death threats. People are sending bomb threats. And apparently, local police departments around American Fork, Utah, are also receiving harassing calls. There have been neighboring police departments that are not involved in this whatsoever, and they are receiving tons of calls from people about the case. There's people, you know, calling them, harassing the police, dispatchers, things like that. And keep in mind, these aren't even the American Fork police. These people are calling unrelated stores, unrelated police departments, freaking out about this. And I understand the anger and the vitriol, but these are people who are unrelated, you know? A lot of these other police departments in Utah are...
I'm just saying, it's getting to that point where they're going to have to launch a federal investigation to the police there, and chances are the judge and the police, man, they're gonna fucking they're not gonna have their fucking jobs anymore, any benefits after it. And again, I'm just saying, like, if they find out that they were getting paid by them and that's why they were in cahoots and stuff like that, and then they find out that, oh yeah, it turns out this business, Bricks and Minifigs, again, tinfoil hat theory is like, oh, it's a front for drugs. They were selling drugs to the community and the police were buying it, and these were the individuals that were getting, you know, who they were doing the deals with. Holy shit, you know, I would not be surprised if that actually happens, because to me, I feel like there's more than the Legos at stake in this whole situation in here. Oh my god, dude. But yeah, but then yeah, like, oh yeah, when like you got like lawyers like Patreon and all that, because it's a bigger company, so you know they got more lawyers and stuff like that. And plus, you know, the fact is that, you know, with stuff like that. They usually get stuff like that happens when people try to defame somebody, try to cut off a source of revenue and stuff like that. Yeah, the GoFundMe and stuff like that. Like any of those companies, Patreon, you know, GoFundMe and stuff like that. But since it's GoFundMe, that was the one that was getting the hit because of that right there. It's they take more eyes and they have more stuff going on to that in case, like, you know, stuff like that is like, oh, it's defame. Like if say if it's like a fraud kind of thing right there, then oh yeah, then they're going to obviously, like, you know, go through the investigation, and yeah, then, you know, they'll shut down that account and blah 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 blah. But if there's no evidence of it, they're going to go after the person who put the fake, you know, the fake thing right there, trying to slander them to try to disable, you know, whatever the GoFundMe was, which will not look good for them, and they'll have to pay a lot of money for that. So I that's kind of funny that they have to shut up about that. Again, they're just bullies. That's all they are at the end of the day. But man, tinfoil hat chat, the tinfoil fucking hat theory. It's a front. It has to be a front for something right there. I don't know what it was, but I don't know. I just feel like there's more than just Legos now.
That these calls are getting so voluminous that it may delay emergency responses. Like, that is, in my opinion, not the appropriate way to handle this. The appropriate way to handle this is for us to focus our energy on Bricks and Minifigs and on the American Fork, Utah Police Department, who conspired, essentially, it seems like, and also harmed this poor guy while trying to serve his legal papers, okay? The people doing the actual wrong in this situation, the corporate structure at Bricks and Minifigs, the owners of that local shop, people like that, they're the ones who deserve the backlash. They're the ones who deserve the shit talk. And it's sad that this even has to go this far because, like I said, this was all so avoidable, right? The CEO of this company could have stepped in at any time and rectified this problem. Instead, he took a non-approach stance. He said, oh, well, all the responsibility is between the party owners in the dispute. It's not my problem. But then when the backlash started to come, right, when Bricks and Minifigs as a company started getting backlash online, suddenly now he's doing YouTube live streams trying to explain it away. They're publishing blog posts on their website trying to explain it away. First it was, hey, our hands are clean of this. This doesn't involve us. We're not doing anything about it. But then once people realized, like, you know, hey, this guy's full of shit. This company is definitely up to some no good here, right? Now all of a sudden he's jumping in the fucking ring. All he had to do off the jump, this literally would have been over in 72 hours had he just went to that store, took the fucking Lego sets himself, and handed them back over to the guy. And maybe even gave the guy like a fucking, hey, here's a $100 voucher at the store. Sorry this happened to you, sir. Shook his hand, went back wherever he's from. Everything probably would have been fine. Instead, it got to this point where almost in a militaristic fashion, this company and their allies, their parties to a crime or whatever, right, have gone so far to attack and harm these people's lives. It's genuinely fucking disgusting. Like, it's actually insane. The levels of stress and just shit that they're trying to put Reckless Ben and all these other people through. And so as a result, for me, it wouldn't matter what this company does now at all. They could give this guy $1 million and his Lego sets back and you know, a ticket to the chocolate factory with Willy Wonka. I wouldn't really care personally. At this point, the principle of what they've done has shown me what they as a company believe so well. Fuck buying anything from these people, man. There's a...
Okay, I think we kind of get the rest of it though, but it's like, dude, holy shit. Also, hi Midnight, how's it going? But dude, I'm just saying, like, the time I was gone in the hospital, I know I'm late on this right here, but it's like, damn, holy shit, this pops up on my feed. I'm like, damn, this is insane. Again, as insane as that one Twitch streamer where she cheated on her boyfriend with her cousin and slept with her cousin, which is quite literally Sweet Home Alabama, caught on 4K. Fortunately, that's a whole fucking shit show. I'm not actually gonna go and watch that one. I watched that one and I was just like, I had like the face of pure disgust and shock at the same time while I was watching that. I was just like, oh, gross, oh. this is the fact that she had like a fucking like see that was the part that really like was like, oh my god, that is disgusting, and you had that as a bucket list to do with your cousin. That's insane. That's fucking insane right there. And it was just like, I don't know if you guys seen that, but it's like I'm not gonna destroy your what's left of your sanity, but let's just say it's some pretty weird stuff. Again, with her cousin. Not even like a distant, like her like immediate cousin. And I'm like, what? Bro, what? Dude, that is some sweet home Alabama. Yeah, it was like, I think one of them was just like, I'll just say one. I'll just tell you one because it gets for some reason it gets actively worse, interesting and worse at this at that. The first one on that like list right there was I guess like, was it like do a B job on that right there with her cousin. It gets worse, just to let you know. So I'm not, I don't want to like tell you guys the rest of it. Also, I feel like he's just gonna be like, hey yo, what the fuck? I mean, in my defense, I'm right here just like telling YouTube, hey yo, YouTube, why the fuck did you show me this right here? Like, and you're gonna go after me for that? It's like, bro, what the fuck, man? That was insane. So I guess the best way you can describe on what's been going on in the internet, I guess maybe like the past few days that was out, is just shit. That's what I can describe. It's just shit. Like, I don't even know how it got worse. Honestly, I'm to me, like, I can't taste anything anymore because of the COVID and stuff like that. I'm thinking, you know what? You know what? This probably happened because there's no way. You know what? I'm probably dreaming. I'm probably still in the hospital right now. And you know what? I'm probably still hooked up and all that kind of stuff because of the COVID. And you know what? That's what it has to be. That's what it is. You know what? Yeah, I'm probably still in the hospital. This is all a dream. Yes. This is all a dream. Ow. Okay, I pinched myself. Okay, this is not a dream. I don't like this anymore. Okay, this is a very realistic dream. I don't like it. Okay, I'm ready to wake up. Hello. It's not working. I'm actively freaking out. Mom, pick me up. I'm scared. Oh god, dude. Holy shit. Oh no, dude. Oh yeah, the Ethan, the night dubs thing right there. Oh, hang on, look. It's the koala. It's the koala. I'll watch one more. One more. But I don't know. To me, I personally still think like there's something going on with that bricks and minifigs things. Oh my god, what the fuck is wrong with the internet here? But it's like they're like, I don't know. The fact that the police are involved and they're really on their like side, it's just insane. Yeah, I don't know. I'm right here just like, it's insane. You're not loading in right now? What the hell? Hmm. Oh no, look at me. It's the YouTube thing kind of being a dummy. You can't even watch the koala. Damn. Hmm. Strange. I don't want to fuck with that though. That's the one thing I do not want to fuck with right there. Why is YouTube so stupid? Also, why is internet just here stupid? His internet went poof. I mean, obviously. I mean, it's the Italian internet right now. That's what I'm running on. But so far, like, I don't know. Like, I've been doing the updates and all that. Like, so far, I think it's just been kind of getting like a little shitty. I've been checking like my internet, and I've been checking my settings. Pretty crazy stuff though. But it's like I'm still able to run games just fine. This is like one of my emails right here that I have for this. I have like fucking so many emails in this. It's not this though, because it just doesn't make sense. But it's like, eh. Should I go to the Zach one? Maybe something happened with this email. I don't know. I'm debating on just like change it to the Zach email now. Kind of weird though. But I'm still able to get on there, which is kind of funny though, because I like, oh yeah, like I'm still able to do like, I think let's see, like speed test. See, like I'm able to get on there, but for some reason YouTube is like, oh yeah, no man, I don't want to work for you. Also, I want to use like my internet. Downside is though, and I don't know. To me, I when they told me this, I thought that was the most stupidest thing and kind of the funniest thing. That they told me here. They say don't have VPN on because it fucks up the internet and it just won't work on your device. And it's like, okay, well I don't have VPN on. I don't think I have VPN on. Yeah, now I see like it's disconnected. Which I find that funny because they said, oh yeah, like don't connect to VPN because it does not work. And I'm like, oh. That's kind of dumb. But it's weird though that this has been happening. Like first this device was okay, but now the other device, so it's like something is like, I don't know. It's very weird. It's like it doesn't want to connect to the stuff most of the time, and it's very, very, very weird. Because I've checked my updates. Oh, see, look, now there's another update. That's funny. That might be the fix right there. Either way, I think that might be it though for today. For that, like, let's go and play some Hell Davos 2, chat. Because I feel like if we go into that, it's just gonna go into the rabbit hole of like, oh, what the fuck did we just go into kind of shit. Because I think the bricks and minifigs, and then the thing that I saw with that cousin fucking her that girlfriend, like cheating on her ex, not ex obviously, with her cousin, is just insane. Yeah, like honestly, if you guys see that, if you've seen that one, like it's fucking interesting. Fucking sorry. Like I'm right here just like every time she spoke saying like, oh, he was doing this, doing that, and then I'm like, okay, but you still fucked your cousin, okay? And then would say something else like trying to defame the guy that's also a streamer, by the way, that her boyfriend at the time is still a very like, well, a content creator, and I guess is the right word for it. But I'm like, dude, what the hell? It's like I honestly don't know what the hell's going on anymore. I'm just right here. I'm just existing. I don't like it. Okay, yeah, the audio's kind of fucked up still. Why is it like, dude? There's always something going on with this right now. I don't know. Some things just never want to work. You know, it's very weird. Okay, probably not that one. Also, what did they have in this game though? That's the real question. Because so far they haven't had like much stuff in this game. Is it still the same? Oh yeah, it's still the same. Alright, let's see what's going on with this little thing right here, I guess. I don't know. Whatever. Get out of here. Damn. I'm gonna see if this works though. I really should probably fix that though. But it's like, dude, there's like so much stuff though that's been going on my feed. I'm like, oh my god. Also, I just realized, like, why am I getting hungry? I'm like, oh yeah, that's probably why. There's like still no, man, there's like no audio. Damn, that's crazy. I don't know. I think I might have to actually like close that and do like some actual like maintenance on my stuff, because it's very weird though that it'd be acting up all of a sudden. So it's like, I'm gonna see if I can check some updates. Maybe something happened. You know, maybe there might have been an update that came on and maybe I missed it. I don't know. There's like a lot of stuff. Like the fact that I was like, okay, it was only one computer, but now it's infecting, I guess, this now. So it's like, it's very weird. So I should probably see what's going on with that before it actively gets worse. And then I just like, I've lost like maybe like $2,000. And I don't want to, and I really don't want to do that. No. That's like $2,000, my guy. That is not some like just little bits of money right there. It's a good amount of money. But either way, though, like I don't know how you guys feel about that bricks and minifigs situation. To me, again, I still feel like it's a front. It looks like a front. I'm just saying it has to be a front for something. I don't know, but like it's crazy. It's fucking insane. But either way, guys, thank you so much for coming by and lurking. You know, it means a lot. I'm sorry though that I have to like cut it early though. It's just that I have no idea what's going on with my device though, and I definitely want to fix this to see if there is a fix, so then I don't have to waste like, you know, money to get something brand new because of that, and it's just not something I really want to have to deal with too. So I'm probably going to be trying to see what the hell's going on, see what updates I can do. I hope to see you guys tomorrow. We're going to be doing the Sunday talk, talking about stuff that's happened, obviously throughout the week, and I might actually slip in and play some World of Warships Legends or some Azure Lane in there. So if you're interested in that, feel free to join in on that time. It's going to be at 3. So, you know, if you're interested, feel free to hop by. If not, then you could just look forward to it in the YouTube video. It's going to be delayed though, but it's going to be all the news segments and stuff like that that has popped up to my feed and was chat has shared with me. So if you still want your stuff that's saying, hey, you know, I saw this week, not that many people are talking about it, feel free to join the Discord, put it in the news coverage section, and then I'll be able to get to it hopefully by the end of today and see it and actually get the script going for it. But thank you guys so much for coming by. Have a fantastic rest of your day. I hope to see you guys next time. Okay. Bye Moon, bye Midnight, bye everyone on Twitch, bye everyone on YouTube, and bye people from Access Twitter and the lurkers, so forth and so on. Bye.